Hi again, and today I want to show you another example, and it's one of the most beautiful chess combinations or positions I've had in my entire chess life. And I want to give you some time to think about the position. I think it's very complicated, and you can take up to 5 minutes here at least. Think about the options, and we will see if you can figure out what is the best play by both sides, and we will soon discuss it. So I'm sure many of you have considered the move d3, which is very tempting because black is creating some kind of breakthrough with this pawn, and it seems that he is queening quite quickly. So this is the only active move by black. That's why we start with this. I think there are not so many options. If black is playing too slow, then we just continue pushing the pawns and black might just be lost. So d3 is very tempting, and white usually basically has no choice here. He needs to take it, otherwise the next pawn comes with check, either d2 after king e1, or if king d1 then e2 check, and it's just getting worse. So no choice, we need to take it. And also one could consider king to f3 because there is no check, but I think again it's not such a big difference if the king is on d3 or on f3, and white would need to find an answer after pawn to e2, which is not easy. So that's why we can also take the pawn and still try to figure out what to do after the same problem, pawn to e2, which is the only option here. Otherwise white just returns to e2 with the king and is probably winning. So e2 is the move. And maybe some of you have thought, okay, this looks excellent for black, and stopped here. But there is another very crucial idea for white, and after this you might think that white is winning. So if you have not found it yet, try to slow down a bit and try to look for options by white, and yes, we continue. So basically there is no way to stop the pawn right now. King d2, then he queens with check. It's impossible, and also we are not ready to bring the rook or the knight. It's just not possible. So instead we could look for active counterplay, and the rule which I apply for finding active moves is to consider checks and captures. So in this case I see three moves which do this thing. I also count this move as a capture because it's winning 8 points. If I get a queen here, I transform this 1 point into 9, so I'm winning 8 points, which is comparable to a capture in my opinion. So those three moves we will consider, and let's start with rook takes h8. The problem here might just be that even after rook takes, white takes here and black takes here, white cannot be better, and probably there is even a bigger problem that black can just queen and he might, yeah, he's just winning there. So this is not an option. And also rook h6, we will soon realize we drop our most important asset, the pawn on c7, and after this we still have the same problem, so this is not advisable. So the first idea, which comes very natural, is we can get a queen here, and if he takes it, we take the pawn. We are still a pawn up, which looks quite nice. And also if he queens first, then we start giving the checks and we pick up everything and just winning. So this looks quite good, but it's quite a nice trap by black also, because c8 queen would actually lose the game. So if you have not spotted it yet, take some time again and try to find options for black. How could black win in this case? We will continue, and it's the incredible e1 knight. So this is actually what my opponent was probably planning here. He wants to wish a knight, and if the king goes to c3 or c4 or d4 and c3 are not possible due to the bishop. So if the king moves to c4, we just take the queen, and black is a whole piece up, so he is winning. And also after king to d2 we have an intermediate check, and the king is not able to harass the knight because it's cut off, and after this white will drop the queen and he is lost because he's a piece down. So this is what my opponent was trying to do with me, like getting this knight and winning my queen, and I'm in huge trouble. But instead I had seen another option in advance, and I think it's incredibly nice because we are answering his knight promotion idea with a knight promotion by ourselves, and suddenly we win this pawn. So what's the reason for this? So if black takes, we just take the pawn, and it's no different story than if we would take the queen and he takes, but in this time he needs to take it because it is with check. What happens if he doesn't take it? So first, if the king goes to e6, we can just pick up the pawn because it's no longer defended by the rook. And after king c6 and king d5, which are the only two remaining squares, we again have another important check, and we cut off the black rook, and then we are ready to take the pawn. The same works after king d5, and so the knight promotion saved the day, and white was even a bit better pawn up in the end game. I didn't manage to win it. It was a game with up and downs after this, but just wanted to share this moment with you because I think a knight promotion is already quite rare, and that we have this double knight promotion, or at least in variations. I think it's very beautiful. So I hope you enjoyed this one, and see you next time.